Feeling adrift, burdened by a weight you can't quite name? Do you find yourself questioning everything, wrestling with doubts that gnaw at your peace, leaving your mind clouded and your spirit restless? Perhaps you've faced betrayal so deep they've shaken the very foundations of your trust, or encountered setbacks that have left you feeling utterly broken. If you've ever felt like an unseen force was working against you, manipulating your circumstances, or weaving a web of despair around your heart, then this message is for you. This isn't just another video. It's a profound invitation, a divine whisper intended to penetrate the noise of your struggles and illuminate the truth. Chosen one, God saved you from this disgusting, wicked plot. Before we embark on this sacred journey of revelation and healing, I ask you to take 3 simple, yet powerful actions. First, like this video if these words resonate with your soul and you feel a stirring of hope. Second, leave a comment sharing a single word that describes how you feel right now, be it hope, lost, ready, or healing. Your interaction helps us build a community of shared faith and understanding. And third, subscribe to the Book of Wisdom channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another message designed to uplift your spirit and guide you through life's intricate path. Beloved one, I see you. I truly do. The struggles you're facing, whether they manifest as an ache in your finances, a strained relationship, a spiritual dryness that leaves you parched, or a heavy emotional burden, they are real, they are valid, and you are not alone in them. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, it's easy to lose our footing, to feel as though we are merely pawns in a game we don't understand. We might question why certain adversities repeatedly knock at our door, or why some plots seem to unfold with a sinister precision that leaves us reeling. This message is not about assigning blame or fear-mongering. It is about shining the light of truth on the unseen battles you've been fighting, battles that, unbeknownst to you, God has already intervened in. It's about understanding the profound significance of your journey, recognizing that you are indeed a chosen one, and that the divine hand has been actively protecting you from disgusting, wicked plots, schemes designed to derail your purpose, extinguish your light, and steal your peace. This isn't just some abstract spiritual concept. It's a vital truth that, once embraced, can radically transform your perspective and empower your path forward. Consider for a moment the story of Joseph in the Old Testament, a powerful testament to divine intervention in the face of wicked plots. Sold into slavery by his own jealous brothers, a truly disgusting wicked plot born of envy and malice. Genesis 37-28 NIV states, "So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt." This was a betrayal of the highest order, designed to eliminate him from their lives. Joseph endured years of hardship, false accusations, and imprisonment. Yet, through it all, God was with him. The wicked plot of his brothers, intended for his harm, was ultimately used by God for a much grander purpose, to save not only Joseph but also his entire family and countless others from famine. As Joseph himself later declared to his brothers in Genesis 50-20 NIV, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." This ancient narrative serves as a powerful symbol for us today. It illustrates that even when the most malevolent intentions are at play, God's divine plan is always at work, often turning the very instruments of our suffering into tools for our deliverance and elevation. The importance of this topic for your spiritual journey cannot be overstated. Understanding that you are a chosen one, divinely protected, shifts you from a position of victimhood to one of victory. It clarifies the often confusing landscape of your trials, revealing that some of the deepest valleys you've traversed were not random acts of misfortune, but rather attempts by unseen forces to pull you off your path, attempts that were thwarted by a higher power. This realization is a cornerstone for true spiritual awakening, for it fosters an unshakable trust in the divine providence that governs your life. It is for you today, in this very moment, that this message unfolds, offering not just insight, but a profound and abiding hope for all that lies ahead. Let us delve into the depths of a soul adrift, a protagonist, much like many of us have been, at their absolute lowest point. Imagine a figure named Elara, once vibrant and full of dreams, now a shadow of her former self. Her life, once a tapestry of hope and ambition, had unraveled into a chaotic mess, a direct result of what felt like a relentless barrage of misfortune, almost as if an invisible hand was orchestrating her downfall. She'd lost her job due to an unexpected corporate restructuring that seemed specifically targeted, not just at her department, but at her very position. The financial ruin that followed was swift and brutal, culminating in the loss of her home, leaving her with nowhere to turn but the cold, indifferent streets. Each night, as she huddled in the desolate corners of the city, the biting wind echoed the gnawing emptiness within her. Her once unwavering faith had fractured into 1,000 pieces, replaced by a torrent of raw emotions, fear, a suffocating blanket that stole her breath, confusion, a tangled web of whys that had no answers, doubt, a venomous whisper that questioned every belief she ever held. "Why me, God?" She'd whisper into the darkness, her voice hoarse with despair. "Have I been abandoned? Am I not worthy?" The betrayal she felt was not just from the system that had failed her, but from a deeper, more profound source, a sense of spiritual abandonment. She remembered biblical stories of resilience and divine intervention, yet her own reality felt devoid of such miracles. The words of Psalm 13:1 NIV echoed in her mind, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" This wasn't just a physical struggle. It was an internal war, a battle for her very soul. Adding to her torment, she had fallen into a deep depression, a suffocating fog that made every breath an effort. The weight of her circumstances, combined with profound loneliness, led her down a path of self-medication, a desperate attempt to numb the relentless pain. Each fleeting moment of escape was followed by a deeper plunge into the abyss. She was caught in a cycle of addiction, homelessness, and utter emotional despair. Her once bright eyes were now hollow, reflecting only the harsh realities of her existence. She often thought of Lamentations 3:2-6 NIV, "He has driven me away and made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me again and again all day long. He has made my skin and my flesh grow old and has broken his bones. He has besieged me and surrounded me with bitterness and hardship. He has made me dwell in darkness like those long dead." This wasn't merely a description. It was her lived reality. The plot against Elara felt personal, almost targeted. She later discovered that her job loss was orchestrated by a jealous former colleague who spread malicious lies, fabricating a scenario that led to Elara's dismissal. This was the disgusting, wicked plot, born of envy, designed to destroy. This revelation, when it eventually came, only deepened her sense of vulnerability. It wasn't just bad luck. It was deliberate malice. This feeling of being specifically targeted, of an unseen enemy actively working to undermine her, is a feeling many of us can relate to on some level. It's the inexplicable patterns of bad fortune, the repeated setbacks that defy logic, the sense that despite our best efforts, we're continually pushed down. This is the human side of our struggles, the raw, unvarnished truth of pain and desperation. In the swirling vortex of Elara's despair, something shifted. It wasn't a sudden, dramatic miracle in the physical world, but a subtle, yet profound tremor deep within her spirit. One particularly cold night, shivering under a tattered blanket, a memory surfaced. A childhood hymn, almost forgotten, about enduring faith. It was a fleeting thought, a whisper against the roaring storm of her inner turmoil, but it was there. This was the critical moment of change, the first fragile tendril of faith beginning to emerge. She wrestled with it. How could she believe in anything good when her reality was so grim? Her circumstances remained unchanged. The cold was still biting, hunger still gnawed, and the crushing weight of her addiction still pressed down. Yet that small spark, that faint echo of a forgotten truth, refused to be extinguished. It was a tiny light in an immense darkness, like the mustard seed Jesus spoke of in Matthew 17:20 NIV. He replied, "Because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Elara's faith was smaller than a mustard seed, almost imperceptible, but it was there. She began to notice small, almost imperceptible blessings. A discarded piece of fruit that sustained her for a day. A stranger's fleeting glance of compassion, the unexpected warmth from a communal bonfire. These weren't grand gestures, but in her desolate state, they were miracles. She started to acknowledge them, tentatively at first, then with a growing sense of wonder. It was like seeing tiny cracks of light in a seemingly impenetrable wall. This nascent faith, even when it felt ridiculously small, began to provide her with a fragile inner strength. It didn't solve her problems instantly, but it gave her the fortitude to press on, to take one more breath, to face another dawn. She started to pray, not with eloquence or certainty, but with the raw, guttural cries of a soul desperate for connection. Her prayers were often just single words, repeated in the silence: help, hope, please. In these moments, she was leaning on the truth of Psalm 34-18 NIV. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The power of this emerging faith began to subtly transform her perspective. The streets, though still harsh, no longer felt like a completely hostile environment. She began to see other struggling souls, not just as reflections of her own pain, but as fellow travelers on a difficult path. This small shift gave her a nascent sense of purpose. Perhaps, she thought, if she could just hold on, there was a reason for her struggle. Perhaps her suffering wasn't meaningless, but a part of a larger, as yet unseen divine design, a truth found in Romans 8:28 NIV, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. The very act of believing, even when everything screamed otherwise, became an act of defiance against the despair, a testament to a divine presence she was slowly, painstakingly rediscovering. Then, the narrative truly began to shift, as faith began to manifest real, tangible change in Elara's life. It wasn't a lightning bolt from the sky, but a series of divinely orchestrated events that began to unravel the wicked plot that had ensnared her. One morning, while seeking shelter in a church outreach center, she stumbled upon a notice for a job training program for displaced individuals. It felt almost too good to be true, given her past experiences. But the small ember of faith she had been nurturing urged her to inquire. This was an unexpected blessing, a direct answer to the desperate prayers she'd whispered into the night. She still harbored doubts, the deep scars of past betrayals making her wary. Yet, as she moved through the application process, something felt different. The staff were kind, genuinely empathetic. A shift in her mindset began to occur. She started to believe, truly believe, that this could be a new beginning. She remembered the words of Jeremiah 29:11 NIV, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This wasn't just a verse. It was becoming a living reality. The program offered not only vocational training, but also a path to stable housing and, crucially, support for her addiction recovery. This new opportunity opened up, not because of her own strength, but because she had chosen to take that tiny step of faith. It was a testament to God's perfect timing, even when things had appeared utterly impossible. The job she eventually secured was not just a job. It was a stepping stone, a place where her forgotten skills were not only recognized but valued. This was a direct counter-narrative to the disgusting, wicked plot that had stolen her previous employment. The emotional realization that faith was the key all along washed over her like a cleansing rain. It wasn't her effort alone that had pulled her from the depths, but her perseverance, and more importantly, her unwavering trust in God. She saw how every small act of faith, every whispered prayer, every desperate plea had accumulated, creating a ripple effect that led her to this point of transformation. Her journey, once marked by pain and confusion, now revealed itself as a testament to divine faithfulness. The very forces that tried to destroy her ultimately served to strengthen her resolve and deepen her connection to the divine. This breakthrough brought her closer to her true purpose. She began to volunteer at the same outreach center that had helped her, offering guidance and hope to others caught in similar cycles of despair. Her past pain became a powerful tool for empathy and connection. She recognized that her suffering wasn't in vain. It had forged her into a vessel of hope for others. The renewed sense of purpose wasn't just about her own well-being. It was about extending the divine grace she had received to those who still felt lost in the labyrinth. The breakthrough wasn't just an end to her immediate struggles. It was the beginning of a profound alignment with her calling. As Elara emerged From the crucible of her struggles, she was not the same woman who had huddled on the cold streets. She carried within her a newfound strength, forged in the fires of adversity. Her eyes, once hollow, now sparkled with a wisdom that only true suffering and divine intervention could impart. Her life had been utterly transformed through her unwavering trust in God, a trust that had been tested and proven true. She found not just financial stability, but a profound sense of security that transcended material possessions. The job she held provided her with purpose and dignity, and the stable housing she now enjoyed was more than just walls and a roof. It was a sanctuary of peace and gratitude. Her emotional wounds, though leaving faint scars, had healed, replaced by a deep inner tranquility. The addiction that had once held her captive was now a distant memory, replaced by a spirit of sobriety and clarity. This was truly the hand of God saving her from a wicked plot that sought to destroy her mind, body, and spirit. More significantly, her spiritual connection was deeper than ever before. Her faith was no longer a fragile ember, but a roaring flame, illuminating her path and warming her soul. She understood with a profound certainty that she was aligned with her true purpose, not just to survive, but to thrive and to be a beacon of hope for others. She often reflected on Isaiah 43:2 NIV, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." This wasn't a promise she had merely read. It was a truth she had lived. Elara's story, though fictionalized, embodies the journeys of countless individuals who have faced immense challenges and found profound transformation through faith. For instance, consider the remarkable resilience of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist and a Holocaust survivor. Despite enduring unspeakable horrors, including the loss of his entire family in concentration camps, Frankl found meaning in suffering and developed logotherapy, a form of existential analysis focused on the search for meaning. His ability to find purpose in the midst of the most disgusting, wicked plot in human history. The Holocaust speaks volumes about the human spirit's capacity for strength and the divine spark within us. His book, Man's Search for Meaning, published in 1946, has sold over 10 million copies worldwide and remains a powerful testament to finding purpose in suffering. Source: Viktor Frankl, A Life of Purpose by Haddon Klingberg, Jr. This fact underscores the timeless truth that even in the face of unimaginable evil, human spirit, often guided by an innate sense of higher purpose, can emerge with strength and wisdom. I encourage you, dear viewer, to embrace your own journey, no matter how challenging it may seem. Your struggles are not in vain. They are not random acts of misfortune. They are often battles against unseen plots, battles from which God is actively saving you. Remember, like Elara, and like countless figures throughout history, you too can experience this profound transformation by holding onto your faith. Your perseverance, your trust, and your willingness to believe in a power greater than yourself are the keys to unlocking your own rebirth. The message rings clear, echoing through the corridors of time and into the depths of your very being. No matter the struggle, no matter the intensity of the disgusting, wicked plot arrayed against you, unwavering faith in God will lead to breakthroughs, peace, and the unfolding of your true purpose. This isn't a mere platitude. It is a spiritual law as constant as the stars above. When you feel the weight of the world pressing down, when the unseen forces seem to conspire against your well-being, remember that God is with you every single step of the way. He is not a distant observer, but an active participant in your life, constantly working to redeem your pain and redirect every attempt to harm you into an opportunity for your good. Think of David, a shepherd boy facing a giant Goliath. The plot against him was clear: intimidation, fear, and ultimate destruction. 1 Samuel 17:45-47 NIV states, David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." David's faith, though seemingly small in the face of Goliath's might, was enough. He knew the battle was the Lord's, and through that faith, a breakthrough occurred that saved an entire nation. His story is a powerful illustration that God saves us from the wicked plots of our adversaries, often through the most unexpected means. I urge you to hold on to your faith, to cling to it fiercely, even when logic dictates otherwise. Keep moving forward, one sacred step at a time, trusting that God is meticulously orchestrating your deliverance and your elevation. Do not allow the whispers of doubt or the shadows of past pains to obscure the light of His presence in your life. Your journey is uniquely yours, but the divine guidance is universal. Just as Elara found her way out of the darkness, and just as Joseph and David triumphed over immense adversity, you too are destined for victory. Your faith is the compass, the shield, and the key. Now, my dear friend, it is time for a powerful and motivating call to action. You have heard Elara's journey, a reflection of the profound truth that Chosen One, God, saved you from this disgusting, wicked plot. It is time to step into your own divine victory. I challenge you to take a definitive step of faith today. This might mean dedicating a specific time each day to prayer, not just asking, but truly listening for divine guidance. It might mean trusting God more deeply with a specific area of your life where you feel most vulnerable, be it your finances, a strained relationship, or a health concern. Or it could be taking a practical step toward change, like seeking professional help for an addiction, starting that new venture you've been dreaming of, or forgiving someone who has wronged you, thereby releasing yourself from their emotional grip. Remember, taking a step of faith, even a small one, is an act of profound trust that opens the door for God's miraculous intervention. As it says in James 2:17 NIV, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Your faith, combined with your action, breathes life into your transformation. I invite you to reflect deeply on this message. Allow its truths to permeate your heart and mind. How does it apply to your own life right now? Where have you felt the weight of an unseen plot? Where can you choose to trust more deeply? Declare aloud or whisper in your heart a prayer of gratitude for the ways God has already saved you and for the ways He will continue to do so. Inspire yourself to believe that no matter the obstacles, your faith will not only carry you through, but will lead you to triumph. Remind yourself that God is always at work, even in the most difficult and seemingly hopeless times. He is weaving a tapestry of redemption from the threads of your trials. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a co-creator with the divine, imbued with the power to overcome, to heal, and to fulfill your glorious purpose. You are a chosen one. You have been divinely protected. Step into that truth, embrace it, and live it. If this message has touched your heart, if it has brought you even a flicker of hope, I encourage you to like this video. Share your thoughts and declare your victory in the comments below. Let us know how this truth resonates with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Book of Wisdom channel and hit that notification bell so you can continue to receive messages designed to empower your journey and deepen your spiritual walk. Together, let us walk in the light of truth and divine victory.